Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here to do your What's Cracking reading. We're going to we're going to use the the Tarot of the Divine for this reading. Another beautiful deck. Took me a long time to get this one, but anyway, I haven't pulled it out of my dungeon of tarot. So I'm going to use it today, and we will pull an oracle card from a new deck as well. Well, not a new deck, a fresh deck. Alrighty, before we go any further, if you are interested in watching me do the star signs, you can find my other channel, the Aussie Goddess Astro Tarot. The link's below, and also below is the link to my Buzzsprout channel. I put it in a couple of weeks ago, and I know a few of you have downloaded it and watched that. I did a very good good hour talking with Susie on manifestation. If you want to watch the actual video, she has it on her site at oh my goodness, here we go again, Spiritual Freedom Podcast. It's very hard to remember, so go over there and have a look at that one if you're interested in learning about manifestation. And I do want to get some more podcasts up there. I just feel that doing podcasts is a little different to doing a video like this. All right, let's not blurb on. Let's get on with things. I'm starting to put together the fairs for this year, so it looks like we probably will be in Bathurst in March at the Living Wellness Fair. So keep an eye out for those. I will put them all up for you for those in those areas of New South Wales. All right, let's see where we're going with this deck. Okay, so we have the Seven of Pentacles coming straight out. This is a very beautiful card. I think that a lot of the time, you know, with tarot, some of the cards have lots of meanings, and, you know, a lot of them change their meanings on different days, depending on what cards they're around. But the Seven of Pentacles for me is pretty much always the same energy. It's about us planting seeds for the future. It's a manifestation card. But like I always say, my idea is that everything is already on your pathway. When you come up with the idea of manifesting, you already know it's there for you. So it's sort of like, to me, wanting something and putting in those first steps. And I always think, you know, people often say things to me, oh, well, like, if it's meant for me, it will come. Yes, it will, but sometimes we have to do some steps towards that. For example, we might want the absolute dream job, but we still have to go out and get qualified. So there's sort of a little bit of energy where we need to put ourselves out there. Now, to me, the manifestation, like the Magician, is all about what is on your pathway. The Star card is what is in your destiny. But for the Seven of Pentacles, it's a little bit different in the energy. For me, it means that you may have to take some steps to move in the direction you want to go in. And sometimes that means just doing some logical things, like, you know, if you want a job, you may have to do some applications, but then you trust the universe to bring the right one to you. That sort of energy. So for me, that's the Seven of Pentacles energy coming through there. All right, so I have the Three of Wands there. So definitely feeling that you are planning for the future, putting things into motion here, especially with this Three of Wands. Again, it's that waiting for your ships to come in. So you've planted seeds. You've done the right thing. You've put yourself out there, whatever you needed to do, and now you're waiting for the results of that. Okay, and we do have the Queen of Swords there. I really like this energy. It is Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy, but like I always say, sometimes we have to go to the energies of the card. And in this particular case, I want to say that there is an energy with the Queen of Swords of learning to speak out, stand up for yourself, trust your own judgment, live in your logical mind. And there seems to be this energy of, I almost want to say, standing in your power here. It's not as strong as some of the other cards, but it certainly feels to me like you are making a stand on something. You're speaking up for something. You're saying, this is what I want, this is the direction I want to move in, and now you're waiting for the results of that to come to you. Very nice. All right, we do have the King of Pentacles behind that with the Page of Swords and the Nine of Swords. Okay. And then the King of Cups. Okay, so whatever it is you're manifesting here, for some of you, it definitely could be a person, but it feels like something beyond that. Sometimes when the King of Pentacles comes out, it does talk about, you know, going for something much higher than where you are. So, for example, if you're in the Queen energy, you might be going towards this masculine King energy where you want to become a manager or you want to become a leader in your field. And the King of Pentacles, of course, is that person. It's that top level of getting to where you want to be. So if you've put things in motion for something, if you've decided you want to go into a certain direction and you've started that process, I feel like you're heading for what you want to manifest. And for me, that feels like top of the game. So whether it is in a position of management or, you know, or being able to lead or whatever else, you know, if it was your own business, being able to have success, then the King of Pentacles is the card you want to see. So it's sort of like you've made steps towards some sort of success here. And I feel that perhaps, although you may be a little anxious of whether that particular thing is coming towards you or not, or whether you've manifested it the way you should, I feel like it's definitely coming towards you here, and it's only a matter of time before it sort of hits your doorstep. So let's get into this reading. All right, Six of Swords, beautiful. So I love the Six of Swords, beautiful card. It talks about moving away from something, but learning from where you've been. And I talk about this often because I feel like sometimes we pack up and leave something and we sort of leave the blame behind and we take the baggage with us. But often we don't realize that we have lessons to learn. And of course, with the Six of Swords, it's all about those lessons. So sometimes for me, the emotion of this is coming out very strongly in this card today. So it appears that you've left something behind. It appears that you've moved away from a situation and maybe you're spending time now deciding what you want in your future, but also dealing with, I want to say, like the baggage of it all. So instead of carrying the baggage with you in a little suitcase, pretending that it doesn't exist and that you have no responsibility in something, sometimes you just need to unpack that. And I talk about this a lot, even in my personal readings. If we do not unpack that baggage, if we keep that baggage inside, if we hold on to our hurt, pain, and our non-forgiveness, what starts to happen is the universe will create or recreate a situation for us. So if you've gone through a job where you've had somebody in a job who's been particularly mean to you or bullied you or, you know, pushed you out the door, and then you decide to leave that job and you take your baggage with you to the next job, you're going to find the same person with a different face because the lesson hasn't been learned. And the lesson is there. Why were you bullied in the first place? Did you not know how to stand up for yourself? Are there things about you that don't serve you in your world? And so what will keep happening is that same pattern will repeat. And some of us will repeat it several times before it slaps us in the face with a grand epiphany and says, no, no more. You need to stop right here, right now. So it could be something that you have learned to do. It's no judgment here. It could be something you have learned to do as a self-preservation. So sometimes we don't fight with people because we don't want conflict. We don't want them to get hurt. We don't want ourselves to get hurt. So we don't fight. So we give in. So if we give in all the time, what does that make us? A walkover. And if we're a walkover in a job, nobody seems to really take it. Even if you put in 100% of your working day, even if you work your guts out, even if you do everything you're asked to do, you will never carry the value that you need to if you are carrying baggage and you haven't dealt with it. I'll leave you with that because I feel like that's what the Six of Swords is coming here. All right, next to that we have the Knight of Cups. And then we have the Four of Wands and the Five of Cups. Okay, now straight away here, I feel like you're moving towards something in a very different way to what you've done before. So to me, this Six of Swords is about you sorting through something. It is about you gaining that clarity. It is about you seeing things in a very different way. And you are taking those lessons and you're tearing them apart and you're really having a look at what's going on here. Some of us have to go through, counseling or talking to other people, because sometimes we can see it, but we don't really understand why these things are happening. But for me, the Knight of Cups tells me there's a fresh new offer on the table. Now, if this is relationship here, then it says to me that because you are learning these lessons, things are starting to move towards you more. So, for example, if you have a lack mentality, you might always put up with the stuff at work because you believe if you don't, you're going to get the sack. So your whole life is built around protecting yourself. It's all about self-protection. So you may think that if you speak up and say something, you're going to get sacked or you're going to lose your job. So therefore you put on a certain persona so that you self-preserve. But it doesn't really work that way. All you're saying is my value is lower than yours and I will keep bending over backwards trying to please you because I'm scared of losing my job. Now, I've had people say that to me, what happens if I lose my job? Well, you know what? You can get another job. And although it sort of sounds a bit lackadaisical that I'm talking that easily, it is not difficult. But maybe you need to learn that lesson before you move on. Otherwise, you're just going to repeat the pattern. So the Knight of Cups tells me there's definitely another offer on the table here. And this energy here with the Four of Wands, Five of Cups tells me it's almost like you're making magic out of muck. I don't know where that's come from, but that's what they're saying. So it's like turning something around to really do the right thing by yourself. And you're not worried now. It's like that anxiety is being dropped. Now, if this is in regards to a relationship, but I'm not feeling for many of you it is. I think it's just very general here. But if it is in regards to a relationship, maybe you've been doing the same thing with relationships. I talk about this often because some of us go through a myriad of relationships before it hits us that we're still meeting the same person every time. Why is that? Because the lesson is not being learned. And I feel like here you are moving into a much more stable place as a result of realizing these lessons. And because of that, something beautiful is about to be offered to you here that's going to sort of less up the feelings from the past and repeating this pattern. All right, so we have the Ten of Wands. There's you putting a problem down. Problem solved. Three of Pentacles coming through. I love it. I feel like that should have been the Justice card right there. But the Two of Coins is still about balance, right? So I would have gone Justice card. It's close. To me, there's an energy here with the Three of Pentacles that it is something that you've been learning on your path that you are just learning to grasp. So for those of you who are going through healing, who are wondering why this cycle isn't ending, I almost feel like there's just sort of this energy of one more sort of push on this cycle and you'll be through the other side. And it's about you bringing balance to your own life. So for me, the Three of Coins really denotes that it is something to do with your spiritual pathway. Perhaps you've never taken on your own business because you felt that you couldn't succeed. So you keep going into jobs where things are really not great because you're second guessing yourself. So it's almost like the universe is sort of giving you a pattern because you're too fearful of jumping to the next level. And I'd say to you, if that is the case, then perhaps it's something you need to think about doing now, because you may keep repeating that pattern because you're not jumping to the next level as you're meant to. It's the same with a relationship. If you don't feel good enough and you're always meeting people that are coming in at that level where I'm not good enough, then you're always going to meet people at that level. So then you have to take the jump and start to work on why is it you do not feel good enough. Explore your core beliefs, explore who you are. And if you get yourself to the next level where you start to realize you are everything you want to be already, you're already there. But you just have to trust yourself. All right, so we have the Knight of Wands coming through with the Judgment card. And underneath that, we have the Two of Swords. Okay, so I feel like for many of you here, no matter what this situation is for you, for many of you, you are about to make a life-changing decision. You're about to step into a brand new you because you're rebirthing yourself here. This isn't something that anybody else has responsibility for. It's like you're cleaning your plate and starting again. And maybe you're getting up in the morning going, right, this is it. This is the day. This is the day where I start my own business. This is the day where I look for a new person who's very different to what I've looked for before. This is the day when I see someone and have a chat with someone. But whatever you're doing here, you're moving aside the past to make way for the future. And there's a huge decision that you're making as a result of that. Is it an easy decision? No, because it looks to me like you're putting something away to move towards something new. But you're going to do it with that Six of Swords. So let's have a look. All right, so we have the Seven of Coins. So you're manifesting something here. I feel like you're looking towards the future and waiting for your ships to come in. You're taking on the energy of the Queen of Swords. You're not being soft with this. You're going at it. You're going at it, and you've got a really determined streak in you to do that. All right, and then we have the King of Pentacles. So for me, that is just going straight to what you want. You're not doing little steps here. You're not bridging. You're going, right, this is where I want to be, and that is what I'm going for. I don't want to do all these other things in between, and I certainly don't want to repeat where I've been before. The Page of Swords makes me feel like, as I said, you may be seeking out somebody on the internet to talk to. You may be talking to a coach. You may be talking to a psychologist. I feel like you're talking through some of this baggage that you've carried with you for a really long time in order to understand yourself. That's part of self-love. You know, we often think that loving ourselves is about having a foot bath or a massage. Loving yourself is understanding yourself to the very core. Why do you think this way? Why do you do things this way? What has influenced you to take this particular path? And that's what self-love is, knowing yourself right the way through, knowing why you react the way you do, why are your emotions the way you do. All of that, when you can accept that, including all that shadow aspect of yourself, that is self-love. And that is what you're aiming for here. So we're going to read a card here from the Oracle, and I'm going to read the Gods and Titans deck here. I bought both of that. Love Stacey DeMarco's deck, so I bought most of her decks, I think, along the way. But this particular one I fell in love with, and I waited around to get the other one, which I think is a Goddesses one. And I finally, I love it. I got Thor. So that's about taking action. All right, let's just have a look. And I have to remember, is this... There we go. Lovely. The time has now passed for waiting and inertia. Real action is necessary. Trust that you are protected and supported whilst you move forward. Now, what to keep in mind is, as I said, I feel like you may be on where you need to be on your path. So you may have already gained a lot of spiritual knowledge, but you need this one push. And this is sort of Six of Swords energy for me too, like looking back and going, right, what do I need to do differently when I move forward? Actually, it's really beautiful because it gives you an implication too. And I feel that, you know, you can call on Thor when you need some real action. He is a brilliant rut buster, someone who will forcibly make action happen. If you feel inertia, tiredness or frustration that things are not manifesting, call upon Thor and his mighty hammer to smash your way through. Yet he is protective of his own. You can feel safe knowing that he will shield you as you move forward into the unknown. So okay, so I feel like here, this is the time. It's like you can't sort of waddle around anymore, sort of thinking about it. This is time. You've got to take action to get something going. And I think I said that right in the beginning. It's almost like this time you can't wait for things to just come. You're going to have to take action to get things moving. All right, I will leave you with that. Thank you.